Okay, so I've built a fraction wall here, and this is a great way to stimulate a discussion about equivalent fractions and for exploring fractions more of those pupils that don't really understand how to represent a fraction. And you can have an interesting discussion about the rods that you choose and the rods that you don't choose, some non-examples. So why is the blue rod excluded? Well, and we can see actually it doesn't fit neatly and nicely onto our fraction wall because there aren't any equivalents to these blue rods here. So we can take those out. And something you might be thinking about asking pupils just to start off with would be, well, what fractions can you see that are the same as 1/4? First of all, that stimulates a discussion about what 1/4 represents. So if this is one line is a whole, then 1/4 is going to be our dark green because that whole line is split into 4 equal parts. So we can see 1/4 here. So which fractions are equivalent to them? And then they can start to pull out and have a little look there about the fractions that are equivalent and how you would represent those, how you might write them down. Then perhaps you'd like to take that a bit further by looking at, say, 3/4. Which fractions are equivalent to 3/4? And what do you notice about the fact of the fractions that are equivalent to 1/4 and the fractions that are equivalent to 3/4? How would we write those? What happens to the denominator? What happens to the numerator? So we can start to see those equivalent fractions being built up. You might like to ask which fractions are equivalent to 1/2. And we haven't got 2 equal parts here, but can we still find a half? Well, perhaps we can if we try and break our fraction wall into 2 equal parts. What about the brown rods? Can we use those in our equivalents to 1/2 at all? And then perhaps you'd ask, can you find any rules when looking for and working out equivalent fractions, discussing the patterns that they notice.